So a perfect way to kick off our course on Introduction to Real Estate Team Building is to discuss whether or not you're ready or even want to build a real estate team. You know, after 20 plus years of really focusing and being passionate about agent team building, from building systems and creating this training, to running my own teams, to managing offices that had teams in it, to ultimately coaching teams and brokers around the country on this subject, I really do believe real estate team building, when it's executed effectively, can be the most rewarding and profitable career path that you can take. You get to become the CEO of your team, doing the parts of your business that you really like and enjoy while creating additional income with the right team members. So in this mini course, we're really going to take you through an introduction to our bigger program where we dive into all the details and show you how to do it from the ground up. But before we get into anything more, let's talk about the potential benefits as well as maybe the pitfalls or the frustrations that people have when they start jumping into team building, especially if they're not ready. So obvious benefit number one is to increase your revenue and your overall productivity. The next thing I usually hear, and I 100% agree with, is it can free up your time and allow you to have a little bit more life-work balance, because you'll focus on the parts you want to do and you'll delegate tasks and specialties and hire people to handle all the things that you don't necessarily want to do. And you'll also be able to just have other folks that are out there handling buyers and sellers on your behalf, which allows you to convert more leads. So if you get into lead generation and you generate leads and you have good systems in place for that, now you have folks that can go out there. You can only do so much in a given day, right? You can have higher rankings and overall better market share, bigger market share with a productive team. You can enhance your professional credibility as long as you ensure you hire and maintain and only retain people who match your core values, and because they are a reflection of you when they're out there in the field. You can definitely increase the exposure and the reach of your brand. And the biggest reason I think to build a team, besides creating this freedom, is to set up an exit strategy. If you build a valuable asset, you can either learn to train your replacement or outright sell your business. And this is what we specialize here in WBNL coaching. One last potential benefit, it's one that I'm actually doing and love, is the idea of having more than one team, an expansion team model. Now, this is critical that you get your hub systems in place. You cannot go open up teams around the country or even in parts of your state unless you really have it dialed in. You have to have amazing systems that are duplicatable and scalable across your area, your state, or even across the country, or maybe even internationally. Okay, so if there's benefits, there's definitely pitfalls, right? So the number one negative that I hear about from agents that might find me that are looking for a team building coach is they're frustrated because they started building a team before they're ready. Well, that's obviously what this introductory course is all about. The second thing is you have to be ready to be the manager, the trainer, or the mentor, or hire someone who does that. Now, what do I mean by that? People that are joining your team, the number one reason people join teams is they want help. They want leadership. They are team members. They're not like you necessarily. The best team members I've found over the years are the ones who want your coaching and support, your leadership, and they want to be able to plug in and duplicate what you're doing. If that's not you, it doesn't have to be you, by the way, because you can hire a manager to do those and you can continue to be the rainmaker. More on that as you get through the course. Another potential pitfall is drama. Okay, if you're a small business, which you are, and you are managing people sometimes come with drama. It's okay, but you got to be ready to deal with it. You're also going to have some turnover. You're going to hire people, assistants, agents, and things are going to happen in their lives, or they're going to want to move on. And that's okay too when you have the systems in place where it's easy to bring the next person in. You don't have to continually start over. And finally, that's the key there when you're hiring. You've got to make sure that you know what it is you want, know what it is you don't want, and finding the right fit for the jobs and the places that are on your team can be a bit frustrating. To be able to build a team, you must get your own house in order first. So just watching the rest of this training session is going to help you, even if later you decide you don't want to build a team. This is the number one thing that I do with anybody who starts coaching with me that's team building, is we evaluate where they are with their personal business and their systems, because that is the way we coach and teach team building here at WBNL Coaching. Is you've got to get rid of the chaos in your business. You've got to put key systems in place. So I'm going to walk you through what those are and give you an action item here in this very first section. Okay, so what do I mean by core business systems in place? Well, as many of you listening probably do, if you're really good in real estate and you've had a good track record so far, you just are a great salesperson, and most of it is up in your head. You know what I'm talking about. So our first thing that you've got to do, the very first strategy, the very first action item, is to do this assessment. And I'll get to that in just a moment. I want you to do an assessment of where you are with these things that I'm walking through right now, so that you can put a plan together to start working on it. And that is going to be first before you start hiring anybody for your team. So I'm talking about your business plan. I'm talking about what you do to stay in touch with your database, your sphere of influence, your past clients, your referral system. Do you have a solid system in place for everything you do with a seller, from beginning to the lead generation and nurturing, to during the transaction, to after closing? There's a ton of things that I'm talking about in here. It's leveraging technology and campaigns in your CRM. Same thing for a buyer, before, during, and after for a buyer. What are you doing for lead generation and conversion? Do you have a stellar online presence, and do you have client reviews? Super critical these days. And what's your social media marketing plan? All right, the next thing you have to have in order is, whether you're an individual, solopreneur, or you're going to build a team, is you have to be really clear about your brand, your personal brand, and your value proposition for your clients. Number one, why are you different, and why should a buyer or a seller choose you? And then if you're going to team build, it's for your agents. And for your agents, it's very similar. There's a lot of similarities between what you provide to a client and what you'll provide to your agents, because your agents, remember, are wanting to plug in and have leadership and support and coaching and mentoring and systems, because they don't have them. So you're not going to attract anybody if you don't have your house in order. So think, what's in it for me when you start working on your agent value proposition? Do you have adequate financial resources? You might have to pay for employees. You might need to hire people, depending on what your goals are. You may need to expand or upgrade your software, the lead generation website system that you're using, equipment, so you need to think about that. You also have to be really clear, and we're going to help you through this course, get clear about what kind of team do you want, so that you can do the right planning around that. And then finally, you do need business plan and goals, not only for yourself as an individual, but to get clear about that before you jump into team building. And we have a section on that for you as well. So that brings me to your action item for this first section of our introduction to team building. I want you to download our real estate business system assessment and take the self-assessment to determine, where are you right now? Where are you? And then we'll compare that to where you want to go. Don't be overwhelmed if you go through this. It's very comprehensive. It is the document we use at WBNL Coaching initially to do a consultation with someone and help give some feedback on where they're at and help them identify what their priorities and their goals are, okay, for their business systems. So complete that. You'll be able to then at the end identify the areas that need refinement or that you need to start from scratch on. And then the last page of this assessment is going to allow you to create that list and to prioritize. Now, you'll do that. That's action item number one. And then action item number two is to schedule, time block some time in your week, a couple times a week, a couple hours a week is what I'm talking about here, so you can actually start working on these systems that you're going to put in place based on this assessment. You know, you spend a majority of your time in your business, in the day-to-day, and this is why nothing ever gets accomplished with people putting their systems in place. The only way it's going to happen, this is what we do if you're doing coaching with us, we're going to help you schedule that time, and we're going to help you hands-on put these systems in place. All right, so that's it for this section. Remember, you have to have your own house in order first before you even consider bringing the first person on your team. We'll see you in the next section.